When we talk about charisma, we often see it as something with a mystical quality. We often regard it as something that is of a flamboyance to someone's own character, to their self-expression, that they are very confident, that they are very charming, that they can be very authentic in a very free-flowing way, so to speak. So what is charisma? Well, we could say that it's a form of confidence, or it's a way in which we hold ourselves when it comes to the self-expression of ourselves to others. We could say that it is some sort of byproduct of wisdom when we integrate wisdom itself, when we actually learn to be wise, we learn some sort of qualities of life and we integrate that into our personality, we become somewhat charismatic. We become confident because we, to some degree, know ourselves so well that we can communicate ourselves with confidence. We are authentic and we come across in a charming way. But how do we actually achieve this thing called charisma? How do we actually achieve it? Now, to achieve some form of charisma, you need to understand that your ego is very similar to that of a muscle. And if you want to grow your ego in the same sense that you want to grow a muscle, you need to undergo certain principles to do such a thing. You need to be able to do two things, which is expand and contract. This is kind of the law of building muscle, right? When it comes to applying weight to ourselves or weightlifting, we need to expand and contract our muscles. We need to lift weight. And you could say the weight in this instance is that of experience itself. Our egos, therefore, need to expand and contract with life itself, with the experiences of life, so that we do what? We develop charisma, we develop confidence, we develop life experience, and we apply it to ourselves so that we develop a personality that has some weight to it, that has some quality to it itself. So I'm going to break this down into 3 phases. We're going to kind of look at this in the sense of the ego in relation to this expanding, contracting, and growth stage that we should go through, we should have to go through if we want to develop any kind of confidence or any kind of charisma with ourselves. Is that one, we need to go through ego expansion, we could call it. And this phase allows us to expand and receive the experiences of life that we can garner from our existence. And there are 3 ways we can go about doing this. One would be traveling. So traveling broadens the ego's ability to integrate different cultural norms and perspectives, fostering open-mindedness and empathy, which is very important to do this. This expansion helps manage the id's desires for novelty and the superego's inclination towards cultural conformity. So we find balance within the psychodynamic structure of our ego. Another way of doing this would be through novelty. Engaging in new activities strengthens the ego by challenging it to master new skills and navigate unfamiliar social contexts. This promotes a more resilient and versatile self, capable of charismatic engagement. Another form of doing this would be through volunteering. Helping others, fundamentally, nurtures the superego, reinforcing altruistic values and empathy. These qualities are essential for the warmth and connection that underpin charismatic behavior. Now, the second phase, after going through this experience of ego expansion, where we expand and open ourselves to the experiences of life, we then want to go to phase 2, which would be ego contraction. And this phase allows you to extract value from your exposure to new experiences of life. One way we would do this is via continuous learning. Internalizing knowledge from experience strengthens the ego by equipping it with tools to navigate reality more effectively. This ongoing development reduces the id's fears of inadequacy and the superego's harsh critiques of oneself. Another way of doing this would be 2, developing expertise. Mastery in specific areas instills a sense of competence, enhancing the ego's confidence. This competence is crucial for projecting the confidence and authority that are hallmarks of charisma itself. So we need to develop an expertise from the experiences that we have garnered through our ego expansion. 3 would be overcoming challenges itself. Confronting and overcoming challenges fortifies the ego. So this is very essential, demonstrating its capacity to balance its desires for success and the superego's demands for ethical conduct. This resilience is key to maintaining composure and confidence in social interactions. Now, the final phase, when we have these 2 things down and we have applied these different methods of overcoming challenges, developing expertise, continuous learning through ego contraction when we try to extract the value from our experiences of openness, which would be us going through processes of volunteering, novelty, travel to expand our ego through the openness of life and the experiences that we can garner through life. We go through the last stage, which is ego growth, transformation fundamentally. This is the final alchemical step, you could say, of actually becoming a new individual in a sense, that we have transformed, that we have developed ourselves in a different way. This phase allows you to integrate the value you have extracted from life to build healthy charisma and confidence. So this is the final stage, you could say. And we would do this by 1, self-assessment. Regular self-reflection helps the ego evaluate its performance in social interactions, integrating feedback from the superego and managing the id's anxieties. This process fosters a more balanced and effective self-presentation. Another way we would do this would be through another step, such as seeking feedback from others. Soliciting feedback aligns the ego's perception of self with external realities, allowing for adjustments that enhance charismatic appeal. This feedback loop helps manage the superego's critical voice and the id's desire for approval. Now, the final method we would be able to do this is through adaptation and evolution. The willingness to adapt and evolve reflects the ego's flexibility in negotiating between the id's desires, the superego's moral directives, and the demands of the external world. This adaptability is crucial for sustaining long-term charisma. Now, the reason why I'm talking about the id, the ego, and superego is these are the 3, you could say, psychodynamic functions of the psyche. And we're constantly in balance between these different drives, these 3 different drives within Freudian psychoanalysis, if we wish to accept that model. And things to do, and charisma itself is a form of expressed confidence. And we can't be expressively in our own authentic selves if we are insecure, if we have an inner critic that is always, kind of haunting us, if we haven't gone through things for us to be confident in ourselves, if we haven't fulfilled the desires that we want to achieve, we can't actually have any form of charisma if we don't balance the id, the ego, and the superego in a sense, because these different drives of the psyche have different desires. Only by balancing them all together can we actually have some form of projected charisma from the confidence that we have brought to ourselves through the experiences that we have with life. So that is why I'm talking about the id, the ego, and the superego with these different ways of being, because through the process of ego expansion, ego contraction, and therefore ego growth, we can actually grow into stronger individuals fundamentally through these processes of life, which are very important. Now, if you yourself, who is watching this video, and you resonate with what I'm talking about here with regards to charisma, confidence, having some form of extroverted character to oneself, self-expressiveness, and you feel like you lack that to some degree, and you want to figure out how you can actually build that up within yourself via the right techniques and skills that you need to learn to actually be able to do that, and you feel stuck and you are unable to reach your full potential in that sense, then I would highly recommend that you book in a free one-on-one coaching call with me for my anti-procrastination program. Because by doing so, I can guide you through the phases of ego expansion, contraction, and growth, what that would look like on a practical level for yourself so that you can learn the very necessary techniques that are aligned with psychology, psychoanalysis, cognitive behavioral therapy, things of this nature, even practical philosophies that we talk about here that you can apply to your life through different techniques that can be very useful. If you want to be able to figure out what those things are, if you simply want to have a chat with me and you want to ask a couple of questions about this kind of stuff, and you've been watching my content for a while and that's something you would like to do, then do please book in that free one-on-one call. It'll cost you nothing at all. We'll talk for a good 30 minutes about what I offer to people and the people that I have worked with in the past. And if we can build some sort of coaching formula that makes sense for you to get to where you want to be in life, then we will further our plans to build a coaching program that is suitable for you. So if that is something you would be interested in, do book in that free one-on-one call down below in the link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts down below, and I will speak to you in the next one.